Hello, and welcome to Connected Communities, a program offered by Revitaled Reintegration Services. Thank you for joining us for Week 2, Music Therapy.
For today's session, we will be doing a deep dive into the power of music and how it can help us process our emotions. Everyone considers music as a form of entertainment, but rarely do we consider it to be a powerful tool that helps us to evoke powerful emotions in us. Sometimes when we hear a song come on the radio, we can be transported to another time and place where we heard that song. Depending on the experience we had when we first heard it, we can experience either positive or negative emotions.
Music can inspire release of dopamine, a positive chemical that inspires good feelings within us. This is the reason we might find listening to music to be a good way to pass the time at work or while we're doing chores. Listening to music may also be a way to trigger trauma and remind you of a past traumatic experience.
While participating in this session, you'll have the opportunity to learn how music can help to understand your emotions, help work towards positive emotions, build resilience, and heal from trauma. You don't have to be a music expert or love listening to music to benefit from this session. Today's music therapy session will be led by Kristina Twilt. Kristina Twilt is an accredited music therapist in good standing with the Canadian Association of Music Therapists, with a Bachelor of Music Therapy degree from Wilfrid Laurier University. She believes that no matter our age, everyone loves to play and desires to make meaningful connections with others. She uses music to hold space for her clients to explore their surroundings and build relationships. She works primarily with autistic children and with adults with physical and intellectual disabilities, and seeks to emphasize their strengths and use them to build resiliency in areas of growth. This includes, but is not limited to, the development of emotional awareness and regulation, mental health and wellness, social skills, cognition, developmental goals, and more. Prior to music therapy, Kristina obtained a Bachelor of Computer Science degree, and she enjoys exploring the ways in which technology can be used to enhance our relationship to music in the modern age. Kristina currently lives in Toronto with her husband, enjoys listening to podcasts, and is reigniting her past hobbies of sewing and cross-stitching.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kristina, and thank you for choosing to watch this session. I will be speaking about the benefits of music therapy and some things that we can do, whether or not we have the ability to access music therapy sessions, ways that we can use music intentionally in our daily living to make to cope with the challenges in our lives and to make our lives a little bit more bright and full, and to be able to walk through certain challenges that we might be facing in our lives. So a bit of an overview. My plan for today is to have a mixture of live music as well as an exercise that I would like to walk you through about music, about building a playlist, as well as a mixture of a YouTube video to show you how easy it can be to access different types of music, and then combine that with a live element as well to have some reflection. And that would be a guided reflection that you can do not only for a reflection for the session that you had today, but as a reflective exercise that you can use after today is done, to kind of unwind and decompress and disconnect with the outside world and to reconnect with your inner world, to be able to sort of just channel peace and whatever thoughts or emotions or inner wisdom that you need to access. So everything that I will be bringing forward today are things that you can do yourself. So then the question then becomes, what is music therapy? And the difference of music in therapy or music as therapy. So music therapy, as is defined in Canada and the United States, technically, the ingredients that need to happen in order to make a music therapy session happen is there must be at least one client, there must be a certified music therapist, and there must be music in some way, whether it's instrumental music, live music, recorded sessions, along with the therapist processing. It can also be speaking about and diving into lyrics. It can be under the guidance of a music therapist. It can be using playlists. It can be songwriting. It can be manipulating music. It can look a whole bunch of different ways. So the exercises that I'm going to be guiding you through are kind of a sampling of what different music therapy sessions can look like. Certainly not all music therapy works the same way, as music therapy is very much guided towards the individual client and whatever the person needs, both in a grander scale of the goals that they would like to work on, or that they would like to achieve, as well as we're all humans. We're going to be in different mental and emotional states from a day-to-day basis, sometimes even an hourly or a minutely basis. So the benefit of working with a music therapist is that they can work with you and tap into what you need, not only in the larger scale, but what you need in any given moment. So the sessions that the little exercises that I'm going to be doing, keeping in mind that they are going to be general and they are going to be broad in an effort to kind of bring the most, have it be the most likely that there will be some benefit and some impact for everybody who's going to be watching this session at a later point in time. So to begin this session, bringing out my guitar, and we're going to be doing a guided meditation, and it's going to be a body scan, as well as a muscle relaxation, going to be along with music. So perhaps you may have heard of guided meditations, perhaps you might have heard of body scans, you might have heard of mindfulness. The idea being that we can use music to enhance, and sometimes it can even give us something else to focus on. When I started to learn how to meditate, and everybody, as I'm sure everybody who's new to meditation will do, the mind can wander, and sometimes it can wander quite a lot, and it can feel discouraging when the mind wanders. We can feel like we're not doing meditation correctly. I personally believe that there's no one right way to do meditation. Meditation can look differently, and different people can benefit from meditating in different ways, be it while taking walks. Some people can find doing the dishes to be meditative, some repetitive motion. The idea here being that music can simultaneously ground us and give us something else to return our attention to. So it's, as you're listening, just try to be graceful, that with the inevitability that the mind will wander, and as one of the tenets of mindfulness is to bring your attention back to the things that we're going to be focusing on. So I invite you to just listen to the sounds of the guitar as I'm plucking each and every string. Noticing the twanginess of the guitar Sometimes I'll be playing and you might even hear my fingernails against the steel string make a kind of scratchy sound. And whatever you feel comfortable with, I invite you to either close your eyes or to soften your gaze or pick a spot on the wall to focus gently on. And we're going to take nice deep breaths, and as we breathe, we're going to breathe not into the chest, but rather we're going to breathe down into our bellies through our nose if it's comfortable. And as we breathe out, we're going to breathe out through our mouth if that's comfortable. And as with anything, there's no one right way to do any of these exercises. Our bodies can have different challenges, either over a longer period of time, or sometimes just our body is giving us the message that it's in a mood for something different. So whatever you need to access a little bit of relaxation and peace today. So with your eyes closed or your gaze gentle, we're going to take a deep breath into the belly, and we're going to breathe in and breathe out. In through your nose, down through your belly, and breathe out. One more, breathe in and out. You to return your breathing back to a regular pace, a regular tempo, not too deep, not too shallow. And as best as you can, breathing down into the belly, in through your nose and out through your mouth. And we're going to access a grounding energy for our body scan. We're going to bring our awareness down to your feet. If your feet are not flat on the floor, as best as you can, feel free to put your feet flat on the floor. And just feel the energy of the ground beneath you. And if you're not much of a spiritual person, that's okay. Just feeling the texture of the floor beneath you. If you're wearing socks, is the floor warm or cool? Are you in socks? Are you in shoes? Are you on hardwood or carpet? Or perhaps a textured rug? And feeling the sensation through the soles of our feet. No judgment, just allowing for whatever it is to be whatever it is. Bringing our attention to the tops of our feet. Are we socked or are we barefoot? If we have clothing on, if we have socks on, is it scratchy or warm or cool? Do we feel like our feet are sweaty? With no judgment, just allowing the sensations. And if you're feeling some itchiness, absolutely feel free to scratch if it would provide some relief. Bringing our attention up to our ankles and to our calves and to the fronts of our legs, to our shins. Are you wearing pants today? Leggings, a skirt? And how does that fabric feel? If you're in shorts at this time, how does the air feel? Just allowing ourselves to feel the sensations that are around. Taking a deep breath in and giving that relaxing energy, that grounding energy from the ground, bringing it up to our legs as well. So a deep breath in and out. Moving up to our thighs and to the front of our legs as well. Just noticing the sensations that are there. Acknowledge if they're feeling hot or cool. And bringing our attention up to our pelvic area and to our stomach. The stomach can hold a lot of different emotions throughout the day. So taking a little bit of time to just sit with, what is our gut telling us? Are we anxious? Are we excited? Are we hungry? Have we nourished ourselves today? Again, no judgments, just allowing the signals to come in as they will, whatever they may be, and allowing ourselves grace to be just as we are in this moment. Is our stomach holding on to anything that's causing us discomfort or distress? Sometimes this can be related to anxiety, tasks that are left undone, or perhaps something that has already happened that we might be processing and ruminating in our minds. Oftentimes these can have physical sensations in the gut. Just allowing ourselves to sit with that feeling, whatever it is, whatever emotions come up. And again, allowing some deep breathing into your stomach. Breathing in and out through the nose, or through the mouth rather. Let's have one more deep breath into the stomach. Breathing in love and exhaling love. Going to bring our attention upwards to our chest, to our lungs, to our heart center. Again, if we're wearing a top, just noticing how does the fabric feel? How does the temperature feel? Does the temperature feel different for our chest and our stomach than it does in our legs and feet? And bringing our attention around to the back as well. And noticing, is there any tension? Is there any stiffness? And if you feel so called, you can let out a little bit of a stretch to get some movement through. Move some of the energy through. Similarly to our stomach, sometimes our chest, our heart, it can hold on to things that we're anxious about. Sometimes if we're experiencing grief or loss, this can feel heavy in our chest and our bodies. And allowing ourselves the grace to sit with it. The grace to let the emotions be whatever they are in this moment. To just sit with it. Deep breath in. And out. Breath in and out. One more breath in and breath out. We're going to move our attention to our arms as well now. If you're like me and have short sleeves on, you might feel the air more around you. At the time of this recording, it's starting to get cooler now as we're into early middle October. Noticing how our hands feel as well. The tops of our hands, the palms of our hands, the bottoms of our fingers and our fingertips. Do our hands feel the same temperature as our feet or the rest of the body? Sometimes our hands can feel colder. And once again, just allowing whatever sensations that do enter your mind's eye to just be and exist. We're moving our attention now to our neck, the sides and the back, and to the front of our throats, and to our jaws as well. If you feel so called, perhaps letting out a yawn. Have that nice big stretch. Loosen everything up. Oftentimes we can hold a lot of tension in our neck. If we're looking at our phones or at our computers or at our tablets all day, there can be tension through the neck that builds up as well. So just allowing ourselves this moment and this grace to acknowledge whatever feelings are stored in there. And we're going to take a deep breath in, and as we breathe in, we're going to imagine breathing in space and breathing out the tension into the world. So we're breathing in space and breathe out tension. Breathe in space and breathe out tension. One more time, breathe in space and breathe out tension. And we're going to be bringing our attention to our face and to our ears and to our scalp and to the top of our heads as well. As best as we can, if we notice that we're furrowing our eyebrows, I invite you to relax, to have a neutral affect. And again, just noticing, how does the air feel on our face? Are there any facial muscles that are tight that could be relaxed a little bit more? Feeling the air as we're breathing in against our nostrils or for our mouth if that's more comfortable. And as we breathe in, I invite you to, and breathing out as well, I invite you to notice the temperature of the air. Oftentimes, the air can feel cooler as we're breathing in and warmer as we're breathing out. So I invite you to feel whatever sensations you're feeling, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. One more time, breathing in and breathing out. And as we take one more moment to just bring our awareness to our body as a whole. Notice, do we feel any different now in this moment than when we started this exercise? Do we feel more relaxed? Do we feel heavier? Are there parts of our bodies that feel more tense or lighter? Oftentimes, this exercise can be a way to bring awareness to things that may be uncomfortable, that may be painful. And there's no right or wrong way to do this exercise. It's simply a moment to listen into what our bodies are trying to tell us. And as we bring this exercise to a close, I invite you to think not only what is my body trying to tell me, but how can I feed it? How can I serve it? How can I nourish it once this moment is done? Do I need more water? Do I need more rest? Do I need fresh air? Do I need to turn off the screens? Do I need quiet? Do I need to smell something pleasant like flowers or baked goods? Do I need to feel something warm, fuzzy, cooler, or more textured? Whatever it is that your body is telling you, feel free. I give you permission to put aside the word should. There's no should for how you should be feeling or should not be feeling. And allow yourself the grace to be where you're at, to feel the things that you're feeling, and to give yourself the things that your body and your soul need in this moment. We're going to gradually bring our awareness back to the room. Deep breath in and breath out. Breath in, become aware, and breathe out. Becoming aware of the floor beneath you. Become aware of your body on the seat, wherever it is that you're sitting. I invite you to gradually open your eyes and become aware of the room around you. Become aware of your presence in the room, filling up space and being in this moment. One last deep breath in and breathe out. So that's an example of, it's a longer example, mind you, of a body scan with some relaxation applied to music. And there are various ways that you can find these meditations with or without music. But of course, as a music therapist, I chose to do it with music today. An app that I know is Calm. And I believe that there are nature sounds, sometimes just sounds of nature like a rainstorm or a crackling fire are all that we need. And that is, there can be music too in the sounds of nature. And you can find examples of guided meditations on YouTube and any on the internet. And feel free to add in, if for your search for music, guided, or for your search for meditations rather, music with guided meditations. So the next thing that I wanted to bring to your attention, there will be provided for you a music questionnaire. And I'm just going to share my screen with you now. And I'm going to go through this fairly, I won't spend too much time on it because it really is meant to be sort of thing that you can do on your own, and to there we are. So feel free to go through the questionnaire at your own pace and in your own time, and perhaps even come back to this. It doesn't need to be completed in one sitting. And this questionnaire, the purpose of that can be to ultimately bring to mind songs and to bring these songs forward with you into your life in more intentional ways. So the first question is, what are your earliest positive musical memories? Were they from a children's movie, television show, or group activity? So we're in school, for example, or in camps. Did you have lullabies that helped put you to sleep, or favorite nursery rhyme that you love to repeat? And allow yourself to just kind of be in the memory of being a child, and whatever, not everybody's childhoods, unfortunately, were happy. Some of us have the luxury of having a happy childhood, some of us not so much. But no matter what we experienced as children, just bring to mind, what positive memories do you have? What positive musical memories do you have? And if we are able to access those, then those can bring forth some of those feelings of playfulness and of curiosity and excitement and wonder, perhaps feelings of connection. If we know that these are beloved childhood memories, sometimes these musical memories are ways to access core parts of ourselves, and we can bring those parts of ourselves forward in with us, and call upon those for periods where we might need a little bit of playfulness, where things seem really challenging. We can, or if people seem standoffish or cold, or if the world just seems bleak, we can use these memories to help us remember that there's a sense of wonder and magic and curiosity that exists in the world. Number 2, what are some songs that when you hear them, you can't help but dance or move your body to? How, when we feel stuck, when we feel slow, when we feel heavy, when we feel sluggish, sometimes dancing can be a big ask, and that's quite all right. Sometimes it can just be the gentle movements, those gentle stretches can be movement enough. But there are also times when, for example, I believe many people will put on energetic, upbeat music to dance to while they're cleaning, while they're doing chores that would be really dreadful otherwise. Things that can help bring more energy into your life and to lighten your spirit, to lighten your body, to lighten your mood. These can be really good resources to help you move through some of the more mundane, monotonous tasks in your life, and to bring forth a little bit of joy. Sometimes these can be silly songs too that we can put in. And throughout this questionnaire, there's no right or wrong way. So consider not only the radio, if you listen to the radio, but favorite movies in your past. If you have played video games or have other memories of perhaps exhibits, art exhibits, anything at all where music can be, there's no right or wrong place to consider these songs. When you're alone in the shower, in your car, or in an empty parking garage or a stairwell, what are some songs that you love to sing at the top of your lungs without caring what you sound like? These songs that just fill your soul, they fill your spirit, and you cannot help but just let it embody you, let yourself embody the music, let it flow through you, just singing at the top of your lungs. These songs that fill you with so much joy. Or even, as we're going to be coming up with soon, the ones that are about sadness and pain and anger, the ones that just get us, where we have to just belt it out. These songs can give us the permission to get out the feelings that are inside of us, that we've trapped and that are contained and that are just begging to be released, begging to come out. These songs that just perfect access to some core emotional memories that we can tap into and let it out, let those emotions release. Think back to a point in your life that you've experienced loss, a friend, a family member, a romantic partner, or something or someone else that was otherwise impactful for you? Were there any songs that you listened to during that time? There is the cliche that there are so many songs about heartbreak, and while there are so many songs about heartbreak, I do believe that each of them are also unique in their own ways. And I believe that there are songs that come into our lives at just the right time when we really need them most. Our teenage years, our adolescence, can be a time where we are experiencing loss and change in a whole lot of different ways. And they can provide access to things. Oftentimes we think we go back to the songs that we heard in our adolescence when we're transitioning from the safety, quote unquote safety, if we had the luxury of feeling safe in our childhood. But the logic and the rules of childhood and how the world changed and turned upside down when things don't seem to make sense anymore. And oftentimes those changes come with a sense of loss. The loss of things that were safe, that were secure, or even if they weren't safe or secure, at the very least, if they made sense, and if they meant something to us, if they were powerful for us, if they were a resource for us. Loss and grief are very, very powerful emotions. And while in this video, it's not a time to access, well, it can be a time to access in a safe way. It's not a time, unfortunately, to process these really big, deep emotions that you're feeling, but it can be a way to start to get curious and to investigate about it. And certainly to bring forth to somebody else that you feel more comfortable with exploring these feelings with, be it a loved one, a professional of any sort, whoever you feel safe to process these things with. Consider bringing one of these songs or two of these songs with you and discussing the lyrics. What is it about these songs that keep you coming back and listening to it? Is it the music? We're jumping ahead a little bit, but sometimes these songs can have keys to be able to access the loss and the pain that we're feeling. What songs capture your anger? Are there lyrics that describe your anger? Are there instruments and sounds that express anger accurately? There are genres of metal, screaming music, and music that can sound like noise to some and can sound like music to others. What are the songs that just capture rage perfectly for you? These songs that capture anger can be a resource for us to draw on when we need to feel anger, when we need to process anger, and when we feel sometimes we're in states where we can't express it, and sometimes we can experience it in a safe way vicariously through the music. And it can be provide us to be able to hear it, and sometimes if we have the safety of screaming into a pillow along with the music, or through some sort of safe way of physically letting out through our bodies, going for a jog, going for a run. If it feels like what you need to be punching a pillow, whatever it is that you need to safely access and allow the anger to pass through you in a state of flow. These songs can be resources to help you through that. And the last one, are there any songs that you feel like were written just for you? Something that matches a core value, or that could have been written to accompany a key moment in your life. If you had to think of a soundtrack of your song, of your life, of your soul, of your core values, what could those songs on that soundtrack be? What are the core messages that they have for you? It's good to think about these things, because these core values that we have, they can be a guidepost, they can be a light, a beacon to draw us back to who we are in times of great uncertainty, in times of great sorrow and confusion and anger and sadness. And sometimes even to ground us when the positive emotions are so heightened and strong that it can feel difficult to remember who we are. There is, as much as we may want to rid ourselves of negative feelings, there is also such a thing as too much, too strong of positive feelings too. So these core value songs or songs that capture a key moment, they can be ways to bring you back to who you are. They can be ways to bring you forward to who you want to be. I'm going to stop my share and for the next part, this is best done with basically I'll give a little bit of a stepping guideline for how to build a playlist with intention that you can use. And if you're curious about using playlists and music with intention, I invite you to research Jennifer Buchanan. She is a music therapist who has written a couple of different books about using music with intention to guide you through your everyday life. She has written 2 books come to mind, Tune In and Wellness Well Played. Tune In is a series of case studies of people with different challenges in their lives and with exercises similar to this one, similar to these exercises. There's actually a similar life questionnaire. And she talks briefly about building playlists to accompany you in your life. And Wellness Well Played is a book entirely devoted to just that topic. So a brief overview of the things that you can do. I have, to use my own playlist as an example, I have a couple of playlists to help. I have one that is just called Anger, and it is filled purely with songs that I need to access my anger. There's a song that has erratic sort of repeating, but not very not traditional drumming elements, and it's a song that I can allow myself to sit in anger and rage and to allow the music to wash over me and to just sit in it. And these anger songs, sometimes if I know that there's a certain person or people or situation in my life that I know is going to irritate me or cause me anger, if I know that there's a person that just doesn't listen, or if I know that there's a person that is, or people or situations that leave me feeling powerless, this anger playlist is something that I can listen to allow myself to be petty for a little while and to just be in the moment of being in the space of being woe is me, and how unfair and unfortunate it is that this is the way that it is. And if we can sit in our anger, if we can sit in it, I find eventually the feeling will pass, the emotions will pass. Or if they don't pass completely, then at least it can get me, and it can get us to a state where we can sort of have a middle ground and to be able to get in a state where taking a deep breath, rather than being stuck at an anger level 10, if we can bring it down to an anger level of 9, 8, 7, 6, just bringing that anger down just a little bit to get us to be able to do the things that we need to do. It can be of a big help. The other playlist that I have is working through depression. So I am somebody that has chronic depression and anxiety. I'm still working on my anxiety playlist. I have a different tactic for that. But working through depression, I have a collection of the saddest songs that I know, the songs that when I hear them, not all of us have the ability or have the want or the desire to tear up or to cry. But if those sad songs at the beginning of the playlist, I have put my saddest songs, the ones that perfectly capture my experiences of depression. One example specifically, if you do have depression, is Sorrow, and the artist is Sleeping at Last. The song right there actually is a case study of how to work through an emotion, because the beginning is just so focused on the feelings and the physical sensations and the metaphors of what sorrow feels like, what sadness feels like, and how the lyrics literally go, slowly and then all at once, the dark clouds depart. The Working Through Depression playlist that I have starts off with the sad music, and I've then ordered the songs in what is slightly less sad and slightly more hopeful. Which songs then have acknowledgement that, yes, this is a very difficult time, and yet starting to take those first tentative steps toward the light, toward progress, toward the future, even when things are shaky, even when things just don't make quite enough sense. Those things, those songs, those moments that start to sort of seem like we can make progress in this way. And then putting in more songs that have less of the sadness element, less of the depression, and more of the hope, more of, perhaps if it feels more right for you, that a little bit of spite, a little bit of mischievous playfulness, a little bit of, I'm going to prove them wrong. I'm going to prove myself wrong. I'm going to prove those messages wrong. And this is where I want to be, some strength, some power. So whatever emotions you might be finding yourself grappling with on a daily basis or on a more long-term basis, I invite you to think about, what are some songs that perfectly capture this feeling, but then after we've taken the time to sit in those emotions, to sit in there, after we've taken the time to feel it, part of that feeling it, part of processing those emotions is letting them flow through us. And in allowing them to flow through us, what are some songs that allow us to move through the emotions, to move gradually, not all at once, because we can't, when we try to meet sadness with too much happiness outright, oftentimes the reaction is to sit further back in the sadness, and that is not what we're trying to do, but rather to validate and accept that, yes, this is what we're feeling now, and once we are ready to move through, what are some songs that can move us gradually to that next phase, to that next step of where it is that we want to go? We're coming to the end of our time, so I'm going to share my screen one more time. And this is what we can do, what you can do, of course, is to just on YouTube or on anything really, they can be live streams, or they can be playlists of spa music, of relaxing music. And to help close us off for our music therapy session, if we had, oh, my screen appears to have frozen. Oh, there we go. My apologies, we're back. If we were in a session, what I would do is I would have instruments and we would all play together, and I would be holding musical space for everybody to feel the emotions that they're feeling. But in this sort of in this recording to you, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be playing my flute over top of the music and giving you the intent that I'm going to have, so that you are aware, is a sense of peace and a sense of love for yourself, a sense of love for the other people that you may have in your life, but mostly the sense of self-acceptance and grace. So we have this, I'm going to hide the chat. There we are. And I sincerely hope that the sound will be working, so. And I invite you to either draw or write some sort of reflection of the session that we've just had. Scribble or color if you feel called to just watch the images on the screen or to just listen. There's no right or wrong thing to do. I'm sending my grace and love to you. For the sake of time, we'll stop there, but hopefully this gives you an idea of some of the ways that you can bring music into your life to accompany you on your journeys and to help you move through some of the painful emotions, help you process some of the things that need processing. And hopefully this sparks a bit of curiosity. And I invite you to think about some of the other ways that you might be able to incorporate music in your life that I haven't touched upon yet. Oftentimes we are creative, or I believe rather that we are creative, that music can allow us to access that playful side of you. And I encourage you to think about what are the ways that we can have that playfulness that we can use to bring music to bring us closer to our ideal selves, or to our, rather than our ideal selves, our most favorite version of ourselves. Music can be a wonderful accompaniment. It can be a friend. It can provide a lot of comfort. And if you feel called to work with a music therapist, I invite you to reach out to the people in your life and to look into the Music Therapy Association of Ontario, musictherapyontario.com. We're also on Facebook and on Instagram. And for creative minds and other music therapy companies as well that are in Ontario. And if you reach out, we will be happy to work with you. And if not, then however you choose to enact music, to bring music into your life, I hope that this sparks some curiosity and some comfort and some hope and some peace in your life. Thank you so much. Take care.